I don't know how I'm really supposed to express about you all wanting to get the house.
Uh-huh.
How is that going to help the homeowners and the taxpayers here? We must not ignore that we still have serious lawsuits here. God, I'm coming one of it, and I actually have been trying to the residents to do an out-of-court settlement.
She ain't just some random church lady with a microphone. One of the women who actually filed a lawsuit against the village and still hasn't seen a dime. And now she's pulling up like y'all talking Pope homes while y'all still owe me money. Baby came in hot, but not for accountability, for petty revenge. This wasn't justice, it was vendetta with a side of shade. And oh yes, we're breaking it all the way down. What's up, Yulits? Ya girl, J9. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe, share this with your cousin who loved drama and your auntie who stay in folks' business. Now, let's dive into this circus. The village of Dolton just held a meeting, and plot twist, it was all about buying the childhood home of America's first pope. Yes, history was made. And guess where the man came from? Yup, Dolton. You can't write this. Kinda TV. Now normally, a moment like this would have the whole town singing Kumbaya. A pope from your zip code. Baby, that's legacy. That's leverage. But new punity left the group chat. The board came in with receipts, data, plans. Sounded airtight, but then Sis stood up at the mic and chili, her personal beef hijacked. The whole vibe, you could almost hear the bitterness humming in the background like elevator music. Before we get to her viral speech, let's hit the headlines. Local reporters were foaming at the mouth with this one. The village locked in a deal to buy the Pope house. Yes, that Pope Leo XIV's childhood home. But here's the juicy twist, it wasn't some abandoned shack. Two developers already flipped it way before he became famous. And now, it's a tourist magnet with a divine paint job, and bless Windy City. Construction for hopping in with a free roof, because God don't like ugly, but apparently loves shingles. Now the board is gearing up to finalize the buy, and word is the sale price will be revealed next week. It ain't $199,000 anymore, but also nowhere near the million those sellers were shooting for. Either way, the check is about to clear, and so is the backlash. Let's talk eminent domain. Cause you. The board apparently said, give it up peacefully, or we'll take it. Like not y'all threatening to seize the Pope's old bedroom. Eminent domain is supposed to be for highways and hospitals, not holy history. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, can't they just landmark this thing and make it untouchable? Isn't that how historic sites work? Like once it's holy, it's hands off. Landmark rules usually mean no tearing down, no flipping, and no turning it into a vape shop. So why even go the nuclear route? And when the sellers called it illegal, baby, I needed popcorn. Because that ain't just a disagreement, that's called my lawyer energy. And with the board being real quiet about the final terms, yeah, something's marinating behind the scenes. So now we've got this hush-hush agreement, no lawsuits, no subpoenas, just a silent handoff. The village walks away with a literal holy grail, and the developers slide out with a decent check. Meanwhile, pilgrims and tourists been creeping up to the house like it's the Beyoncé of real estate. Instagram stories, rosaries, maybe even a selfie stick or two. This could have been a slam dunk. But no, here comes that one hater at the mic. The second she started talking, I knew it was gonna be a mess. First off, she gave full conspiracy YouTube at 3 a.m. vibe stalking circles. Tossing out bank names, shadowy defaults, and random theories like she just binge-watched 5 docuseries with no subtitles. But eventually, she hit her real point, and that's when her whole mask slipped. Sis, dead serious, asked, is it gonna bring in revenue? Ma'am, that's the point. It's a Pope house, not a Chuck E. Cheese. You slap a gold plaque on it, tell the story, maybe sell some candles with his face, and boom, people will come from all over. Revenue, legacy, history. But she's acting like it's a timeshare scam instead of a golden opportunity. And then boom, there it was. The real reason she showed up. Not for the people, not for the progress, for the payout. She drops. We still got lawsuits. Like that explains the whole bitter monologue. And guess what? It does. Sis is one of the plaintiffs. She's literally standing at that mic, mad about a Pope house because her check hasn't cleared. The way she screamed fiscal responsibility while holding a personal vendetta in her purse. Hilarious. Imagine someone owes you $20, and you see them buying a cake. That's exactly the energy she gave. I mean, is that cake necessary? Ma'am, that bitterness ain't budgeting. That's just you being loud because you weren't first in line. You want your money? Cool, but don't pretend your sudden civic concern isn't rooted in a pending settlement. That's why the room went dead silent. Everyone saw the mask slip. She tried to dress it up like she was asking for transparency. But baby, the sentence structure gave nervous improv. I'm coming one of it. Huh, you mean you're a plaintiff? Girl, your words buffed like dial-up internet. She wanted to guilt-trip the room but forgot to rehearse the speech. Her vibe screamed, pay me before you prosper. And that bitterness, woo it, was louder than her microphone. Let's be real, this project could bring in revenue, tourism, attention. You want better roads, better parks, more resources. Then let the Pope's house be the magnet it's clearly meant to be. But she ain't trying to hear none of that. All she sees is money moving that isn't headed her way. And suddenly she's the voice of the taxpayers. Girl, please, you didn't come to save the village. You came to snatch the mic. And now the village is buying a second house nearby to clean up the blocks. Look, because let's be real, tourists don't travel cross-country to pose in front of boarded-up homes. They're elevating the area, creating value, but people like her would rather let it rot than let someone else take the win. They want the Pope's house to stay cursed if it means they stay center stage in their own pity parade. And just when you thought she was done, nope, sis said. I tried to settle out of court. It's almost past the 33. Excuse me, the 33. What even is that? A highway, a verse, a price tier on DoorDash. She was throwing around phrases like procedurous ghosts and invisible. People getting paychecks like it was normal, ma'am. What? This ain't Hogwarts, ain't nobody cashing ghost checks. You're inventing conspiracy words mid-sentence. This woman out here saying quadris like it's an actual term and not a glitch in her own speech code. The community don't got availability. Availability of what? Sis. Functioning. Sentences. Logic. She's spiraling, and you can tell even she don't know what she's saying anymore. It's not stage fright, it's her brain trying to walk off the job mid-rant. Then she has the audacity to say, I didn't want to bring this energy. Like she didn't come in swinging with lawsuits, ghost payrolls, and sewer drama. Sis, you are the energy. You brought that bad vibe like it was carry-on luggage. And talking about coming for receipts like this is Real Housewives and not a township meeting. Baby, if you had the receipts, you would have shown them. Instead, we got microwave confusion with no timestamp. She's up there confusing sewers with ghost employees, lawsuits with haunted HR departments, and the Pope's house with a personal slap in the face. Like, no one mentioned race, no one mentioned ghosts, but somehow she squeezed it all in like it was a bingo card of nonsense. Let me speed it up, please do, because we're watching a whole TED Talk spiral into a fever dream. She talking about she kept one woman from the sewers. What does that even mean? Like she rescued a damsel from a manhole. Did the sewer kidnap someone? Why are the drains allegedly leaving the neighborhood? Sis, you just invented infrastructure. Trauma. At this point, the real headline is, one woman versus reality, and she's losing. The truth. This wasn't about leadership or community vision. This was about one woman mad, she's not getting paid fast enough, trying to stall an entire village so she can hold it hostage with her unpaid invoice. Just say that, because all that sewer ghost sermonizing, it ain't fooling nobody. Now she's asking about the street cleaner finally, a reasonable point. Just move your cars so the sweeper can do its thing. But that sanity didn't last long. Next second, we're right back to the sewer saga. She said they're filled to the top. With what, sis? Sewage, slander, your old lawsuit papers. Because what's truly overflowing is your nonsense. You clogged this whole meeting with confusion, not facts. It's giving chaotic TED Talk. Local edition. And baby, the energy, it's real. If I can't glow, y'all can't grow. You're blocking a whole village blessing over some crusty settlement and sewer gossip. You mad at Pipes and Pope property like they in on the conspiracy. If Petty was a profession, she'd be CEO. Like what's next? The potholes? Oh, you child support? This ain't even civic commentary, it's Karen Court, Dolton edition. Live on YouTube. Sponsored by Bitterness. Then she pivots to box fans. Says we should be donating fans like it's 1987 and Central Air don't exist. Girl, what? And now she's talking about dogs getting kicked. Then jumps to the leech law. Who? What? WHERE. Somebody check the agenda because I'm lost. Are we at a township meeting or an episode of Unsolved Mysteries? She said, come on now, like that was the mic drop. But baby, that mic short-circuited, but the real mic drop. The board ain't fall for it. They heard her whole sewer sermon and said, okay, girl. Next she pulled up with that crab in a barrel mindset, determined to keep the whole town crawling. But the board, they had vision, they had sense, and they had enough. So they moved forward. Blessings approved. House secured. Hatred ignored. Period. Then came Mayor Jason Houseschool, composed, on point, gave the exact response the village needed. Called it what it is, a treasure. And he's right. This ain't just brick and wood, it's economic gold, heritage, revenue, a reason for tourists to visit Dolton, baby. And the board ain't even dropping all the cash at once. Wintrust Bank stepping in like we got y'all. Pay a Zugo Pope property. That's divinefinancing.o. And remember that busted house down the street. Snatched that too. So now the Pope house won't be sitting next to a haunted foreclosure. This is how you build a block. This is how you elevate a town. From rundown to revenue. From sewers to sacred. From lawsuits to legacy. You see the vision or you don't. But either way, the train left the station. So here's your final memo. You don't fight divine alignment with dollar store bitterness. You don't block blessings because your name's still on a docket. The village showed up, showed out, and moved forward. And mama proud. Because when the haters fumbled, the board caught the pass. So don't look back. Dolton, look up. Keep climbing. Mama love you. Yes, she do. Peace.